It's okay. Off your mic. It's okay. She off your mic.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, yo. My ego don't come, yo. My people make we shout, yo. My ego don't come, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, yo. My ego don't come, yo. Politico, this one not the off in mind. Can in the touchlight every corner. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you ladder. Yo. My ego don't come. Yo. My people make we shout. Yo. My ego don't come. Yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses. Yo. My ego don't come. Politico, my ego don't come, this one not the off in mind, my ego don't come, person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my ego, that man too they talk, he too they talk. Say my ego diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk, but thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh, yo. My ego don't come, yo. And people make you shout, yo. My ego don't come, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, yo. My ego don't come.
Hello there.
Mayegun la wa mo la mo dododo. Mayegun diary.
Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. Good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Thank you very much for joining me. Share this broadcast. Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends. And tell them that Mayegun today, yes, I'm here live.
Mayegun diary politico.
You may be wondering, Kilo Shele. Tinubu is canceling Atiku. And at the same time, Atiku is canceling Tinubu. So it's going to be an interesting night tonight. So if you are wondering, like my guy,
what's going on, Christian? What's going on, Christian?
Here you go. But don't worry. What is really going on is that Igboro ti daru. Share this broadcast. I've got so much for you tonight. Yes.
Lórí YouTube. And yes, we like. Oh, Baba Bewure.
Share the broadcast, and then before we settle down fully, I've got a few announcements to make. The first one, which is actually a very good one, our own member here of the Temple of Truth, Idris, whose sister was among those kidnapped in Edo just a few weeks back. She has regained her freedom, but not without costing the family their entire savings, and at the same time driving them into selling their properties, including driving them into debt. As they say, the victim survived, and when there is life, there is hope. So Idris' sister is back home. And for everybody who have been sending me personal messages on what can you do to help and all of that, yes, we open up a sort of a window for that where you can reach out. The story is very credible. And when I say it is credible, I mean, you can do your own background check on this as well if you are willing to help, okay? But it is very credible. And we are happy that she is back home, safe. Now, talking about the atrocities and the victims of this APC, Egbekebe's terrorism in the last 8 years. This past few days has been a very, very sad one, especially for the parishioners of this man you have on your screen, who happened to be a Reverend Father, and his name, by the way, his name is Reverend Father Isaac Achi, right? He was killed by the Fulani terrorist at his own church called the St. Peter and Paul Catholic Church, Kafin Koro, Niger State, where he was burnt to ashes. After they killed him, they burnt his body. You know, God, should I say, give his family the fortune to actually, I mean, to bear this. I don't know what to say. Justice would have probably been better than praying for, you know, them to be able to handle it. But from us to them, our condolences. I mean, condolences, Baba. Thank you very much. My final announcement is going to be on the updates on our ongoing projects, and that is on Mayegun's Diary Politico. For those who have been part of this for a very long time, you will know that. I mean, you will know that we are not just talking about what is happening in Nigeria or talking about all of the vices. We are also providing solutions to so many of them, even though we don't expect them to honor or obey any of them. However, we are also going out of our own ways to reach out to different victims of whatever is going on in Nigeria. In this regard, I mean, just last month, like you know, we reached out to over 500 families in Yoruba land in our way of helping and supporting the food poverty, which our people are also victims of in the, I mean, under this APC. So we picked a back to school project this January. And back to school is our own way of also reaching out to the less privileged within our own society as a people in Yoruba land. But this time around, these are being done under the umbrella of an organization called the Yoruba Union. Now, under Yoruba Union, we have a target that we're going to reach at least, 5,000 school children to start with. And we have done so far. We have done so well so far. We've put our resources together and we have been able to, from 100,000 targets, because of time and so many other things in the pipeline, we decided to go ahead and just implement what we can really do right now. And what we can really do right now is that from 10,000 school children in Yoruba land that we intend to actually reach out to this month, we have cut that down to 5,000 of them. Now, 5,000 of them will receive 50,000 copies of school usable exercise books printed with information that has to do with Yoruba land. Call it Yoruba's current affairs and few things that they should know about Yoruba land. All these are already being perfected. And by this Friday, we're going to mobilize the printers, which means we're going to start the publication. We've got just about 14 days to get all of this sorted, packaged, and delivered. But we are currently running on a deficit, which means we haven't really met the target that will cover our logistics, the people that are going to work on the field. So at a point tonight, we are going to give you an update on the fundraiser. We're going to give you an update on other things that has to do with what we are doing. So please, don't go anywhere. Now, let's go get started. Once again, if you are just joining us tonight, I want to believe that you must have read the caption, the description of this conversation, this broadcast. And somehow you are, if you have been following events, a political event in Nigeria, which has become what they call the yam pepper scatter, everything propoye. But as much as it might look a little bit confusing, murky, unclear, on Mayegun's Diary Political, we do our best to make you understand the intertwine with their worries in a way that you will be able to not be deceived by any of them, and at the same time, you understanding them so clearly. Yeah, that's part of what we do, because when you see rogues, I mean, a lot of people on Mayegun's Diary Political from the beginning, they were so mad, right? They are so mad at me simply because I was using, according to them, derogatory words to describe leaders in Nigeria. That is completely, according to them, lack of home training. In the beginning, why would you call the leaders criminals? Why are you calling? I mean, Mayegun, don't you have elders at home? Of course, you may not like them, but don't call them criminals. So I fought that. You know, those of you who are like, always want to be politically correct. I fought that from the beginning. But over time, people started actually understanding why I kept using that same word. Criminals, hold yongo, criminals, Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, criminals. Because I have seen through all of the veil that they have used to cover your eyes, including mine. So people started saying, Mayegun, you are right. These people are criminals. These people are criminals, Mayegun. I agree with you. So now, in our lifetime, in your lifetime, I have warned you, if you really want to keep your sanity, if your own mental health means a lot to you, then when you want to view the madness going on in Nigeria and the actors, the characters acting all these roles, I beg you to never, ever be emotionally attached. You are going to lose. They will rob you of that. Yes, that's what they do. Criminals, when you build expectation on them because you are listening to them, then you ended up having to offer them your emotion or even more. But at the end of the day, you will lose because they are just what? They are criminals and they don't have tribe. They don't have religion. They don't have anything. But they can actually put up acts that will make you think they are the best of the best. And I said, it may take a long time, but once people begin to realize that, I said, in my own research, it didn't take long before I discovered that Nigerians and their leaders, they are just like the mirror opposite, the mirror reflection of themselves. Your leaders are the reflection of majority of you who empower them. And I said, if you had paid attention very well, you would have realized that Nigerians, they love their oppressors, they love their criminals, they love their thieves, they love their crooked terrorists and jihadist apologists. They love them differently. And that is why somebody will agree with you that Obasanjo is bad, right? Or hang on, Buhari is bad, Obasanjo is good. Do you understand? Because they will have to give you reasons and excuses why they prefer them to another. Because majority of you are guilty of that. But over time, I have managed to dilute those emotions. People are beginning to feel like, okay, I don't care about them anymore. I mean, I actually love them because I thought they were, you know what I mean? So Nigerians love their oppressors. Some love them because they are from their tribe. Some love them because they are of their religion. Some love them because of the access they have to any of them. All of this make many of them choose. Some love them because what they have benefited through them. Jobs, loans, sponsorship, scholarship, hospital bill. In all of this, right, it makes every Nigerian who has an emotion attached to any of these rogues to feel offended when you are talking about them. I have studied that. That's why I told you, I am not your friend that you should be so happy and be jumping up when I am saying something about somebody which is not in your own book of people you kind of like. I don't like any of them. I don't respect any of them. Whatever they do, even when they do anything good, in my own world, from my own experience, dig deeper, you will see how much wrong and evil that is behind that facade they pretended to be good. I have seen it a lot. And that is why, even when they pretend to be trying to do something good, you'll be wondering, well, how come that thing didn't work? It's because the intention is never to make it work. The intention is to make you believe that it is going to work. But in the long run, back to square zero. So that's why I choose never to invest anything in any of them. So studying and knowing this helped me a lot to understand the mindset of an average Nigerian. Do you understand that? It helped me to understand that, you see all these biases I mentioned, right? It doesn't even, being educated, exposed, well-traveled, living outside Nigeria, even having money, rich a little bit, all these biases, all of those things are, they are unable to stop all those biases. I have seen it. It is a difficult job. We have people that are with us saying Nigeria is not working. Nigeria need to break away and break up. The moment Tinubu became the presidential candidate of APC, their plan and hope of any independent region in Yoruba land in Nigeria was cut down by 70%. The rest was just excuses. Why? They prefer their criminals differently. As you are telling them, you don't need to tell anybody that no election. What you could do is that boycotting an election is also an election. It's also a message. But what I figured out is that as social media is saying no election or this or that, Baba, we went back. Majority of them don't go collect PVC. But there are those that will come on social media and tell you, hey, we need to fight for. It's a lie. Bunch of pretenders. That is what the system has done to them. And I remember telling many of you almost a year ago, I said, you see the level of the commitment of the people towards the fact that Nigeria is not working and people realizes that, right? To sustain and maintain it, the moment their charade election starts, that will begin to cut down. People asking that Nigeria should go their separate ways, they will begin to ask for excuses that, why don't you let us wait for a little time more? I said all of this, and they're happening today. But why am I telling you all of this? Is because everything some of you have managed to try to disprove or argue against on Mayegun's diary political in the past, they have come to be today. But what many of you have not really kind of admit publicly mostly is that as those things have come to happen and be, right, only few came back to say Mayegun was the one saying these guys were criminals. When they say they want to do an election, they have perfected their plan and they have, they've written everything that it has to be, but they have to make it look real by making you participate to validate it. I said that all the time. But then obedience happened, right? And that then started destabilizing whatever used to be the traditional way. But guess what? Your criminal leaders are now coming out, canceling themselves. You are not there, though. You are still here. Some of them, you said I insulted them. Oh. Don't you have any respect, Mayegun? Don't you have elders at home? I mean, it's the politics that make you to be talking like this. Today, everything I've said are now being confirmed by the criminals. That millions of these humbled slaves, obedient fools, and the one Nigerianist unity beggars. These two criminal gangs, I even call them two criminal groups. APC, Egbekegbe, people destroying people, or populated by they are the nest of criminals. I've said that. No difference. So today they came out, and they came out gun blazing. Yes, they came out gun blazing. The people who have character flaws. I'm talking about Festus Keyamo. The likes of Femi Fone Kayode for Food Kayode. Are those who are now telling us that something must be done. Oh, Atiku is a criminal. This SPV thing you are hearing. In fact, Obasanjo and Atiku, they ran a criminal enterprise. That is from the mouth of the people that have bankrupted Nigeria. APC, Egbekegbe. That's what makes it more dramatical. So when we started and people were like, Atiku is saying that they should cancel. I mean, Tinubu is saying that Atiku is a criminal. Guess what? A guy came out about a week ago, and that guy said he worked for Atiku, and he had some secrets about the plan of Atiku. And the guy said if he dies, he has all these documents, emails, phone calls, and all of that he has already handed over to his lawyers. They will release them into the public, and Atiku should be held responsible if anything happened to him. Do you remember that guy? Well, he has released the second part of his secret of Atiku Gate. In his first part, he told us about SPV. What I know about SPV back then was that special, it's SUV, special utility vehicles. SPV, special purpose vehicle. Sure you get. Now, the difference between SUV and SPV, Atiku explained it in a secretly recorded conversation, which that guy released. The SUV na car. SPV is vehicle too, but it's a different vehicle. It is a vehicle, they are vehicles of corruption. These are companies that were opened up purposely by the number 2 man in Nigeria, which was Atiku then, only just to take contract, bogus contract. They will put bogus contract in the budget. Okay? Something like Kokoroko power project in Zungeru, Niger State. But when you get to Zungeru, there is no Kokoroko, any community called Kokoroko. Okay. Meanwhile, when you look at that Kokoroko power project, Nigeria, you see a company collect that. That company are called SPVs. Okay. When they take that contract, they don't have any project to execute. They just take the money. Okay. So these are the companies in 1999, when Nigeria was just coming out of the military, northern criminals in the military who destroyed Nigeria and killed Nigerians. When they left, bankrupted Nigeria. In the process of coming to this democracy, some of you are 22 years old, Tabi, 23 years old. I'm talking about what they planned, your future that they were supposed to plan 24 years ago when Nigeria was going into democracy. The likes of Atiku, they actually put the entire drain pipe into whatever could have been your future today. This today was stolen 24 years ago. So all this SPV, they will now drop billions upon billions on bogus no projects, okay? And Atiku, being the vice president, must make sure those projects were approved and the money were approved and those people collect the money. Baba, Keyamo, before Keyamo, this guy, Garbage Shehu, the one that is the presidency, remember, presidency, was Atiku's spokesperson that time. So for years, Atiku and his friends, right, they milked Nigeria. You know what I mean? Like, never seen before. Even Obasanjo was like, Atiku got so much SPVs, he gave Obasanjo some. Say, Mr. President, they will never trace any money to you. Nobody will ever trace any money to you. Money will miss. People will know that money is missing, but they will never trace it to anybody. That guy released that. So Atiku and Dino Melaye. Dino Melaye replied and said that guy was a scammer. You see that thing? Then don't snowball now. Now bazooka, no. It can be that thing we say if you carry with two hands, these guns. M15, M65, no matter. See, M65, those guns. So APC came out today, and that is from Festus Keyamo. Festus Keyamo said, now they can no longer wait. Atiku must be disqualified. How could you allow this whole thing to happen? So, now that WAHALA we they settle until Dino Melaye fire another shot on behalf of Atiku. Guess what? He said, oh my God, there's nothing where you want to talk. All this in just distraction. Now they pay that guy. Mean they talk nonsense about Atiku Abi. So that you can now allow Escobar, Osama bin Laden to be president and vice president of Nigeria. All those names, are they not criminal tags? You owe me apology. Lagos Abobaku, Oshogbo Alimajiri, Buhari Dins, Buhari Diderins, Buhari Dinotus, Buhari Dijatus, Buhari Shukus, Ungozi Haris, Uneka Haris, obedient fools, sophisticated morons, humble slaves, including you, their uncles and aunties abroad, the Abroadian Buhari Diderins, or the Abroadian Buhari idiots, the Mumumadus, the Bele lecturers, the Mumu lecturers, social media bandits, the Facebook adsmen. You owe me an apology. All of you who are like, who want to be politically correct all the time, you owe me an apology. Now, they don't tear cloth for public now. Don't worry, I haven't started. It's just about to start. You will see drama. I have all the videos. I'll share the videos with you. You watch them. You will listen to them. And then you will sit back and then tell me that if I choose not to believe in Nigeria at the time when I did, tell me I did wrong. I can't give you this online slap. You've not heard that, Abi? Yeah, I can give you this, and it is somehow, hypnotizing, okay? I wouldn't like to do that to you because even innocent person will collect the slap. I'll just have to work with you for just 2 minutes. And then, bah! It will be like say I slap you. Your phone will drop. If you shake for chair, if you just move and say, what happened? Don't let me do that to you. These guys know themselves better than many of you who have chosen to worship them and lick their asses. I'm talking about the ass lickers, the crumb eaters, the crumb chasers, the all-risers. You don't know them like they know themselves. And then you want somebody like me to now pretend and say, are you not a Yoruba man? Otobo, Keyamo, Ati for food Kayode, Femi Foni Kayode are now demanding that EFCC must arrest Atiku. This cannot happen. Cannot happen. I called the shitty man. I called him, what do you call it? I called him Boko Haram apologist. You say, Mayegun, don't talk like that. Let us respect our elders. You know that thing, Ahmed? How do you say Shayen Shieni Lausa? He will come here and tell me. Festus Keyamo on behalf of Keyamo Chamber, they are now asking the EFCC and all these people to arrest Atiku. Why? Because was it not December? David Undenyi released a very scathing expose on Bola Ahmed, Escobar, Tinubu. They say they won't spoil his name. That's okay, leave Escobar out. What about his qualification and all of that he forged? Is that not perjury? They said they are trying to spoil his name. You know how all of this, and those of you who defended that, these two people are now using these exposés that all of us on social media, because you know, saying on social media, they get this raw information. Your normal media in Nigeria, they don't show this. They will never let them show this. You know that. Now, the thing that they are telling you to ignore on social media, are so real, so raw, so criminal, so implicating, so to say, that they told you to ignore them. They are just trying to spoil their names. Now, the Wiris are now using them to tackle themselves. So where are you going to face now? Kolu forged certificate. I was born in 1952. I was born in 1954. My mama, wait, okay, who are your mates? And the rest of them, get a childhood mate. Get secondary school, primary school mate. Get anybody where they grow up together. What about the family member? Who are those who are part of your family? Nothing. It is all so secret. But guess what? In Nigeria, they don't matter. I'm telling you, that's how they push criminals. When those ones now start dealing with them, no job, no security, okay, no food, increasing poverty, then they will start calling on God. God should come and fight for us. And I said, I don't want to be part of that. Hey, you need to be patriotic. Don't see, every time we are talking something serious, don't try to blackmail anyone with all these fancy words. Fear of God, trust God. What else again? Be patriotic. Let us show respect. Let us pray for them. If anybody is trying that with you, you know what you have to do, right? You just face them and be like, "Wa, she's going to pay ya any."
Abolo fe ba ti eje níbo ló ti mọ̀ mí bo le mi àti ti dàpọ̀. Kí ló dé mi àti ẹ pọ̀? Abolo fe ba ti eje níbo ló ti mọ̀ mí bo le mi àti ti dàpọ̀. Kí ló dé?
Old people, mad people are mortgaging the future of millions. You are seeing the result, but you won't come to use blackmail. Are you not an Igbo man? Are you not this? Don't let anybody use any of those on you. Do you get that? Anyway, when you give criminals chance, please please own them with your chest and don't blackmail us or use any fancy word like be patriotic. These are criminals. You are empowering criminals. Some of you are proud of them. Some of you are even telling yourselves that you will see, as you are just going to be the next president. You are doing yourself. You're not doing anybody. Some of you don't know. You are doing yourselves. You are the victims. You are going to be the victims. But Festus Keyamo. Okay, they said they should arrest Atiku. Why? The first part of the story. I'm sorry I've been talking. I actually feel like I could take some calls tonight, but I want to make it more kind of interesting as much as possible without missing the message. These guys are criminals. They are confirming this, and you owe me a respect. If you think I've disrespected any of your criminal leaders, now you owe me a lot of respect. I mean, a lot of apology. I'll start taking them from I'll start reading the comments where you start your apologies. The first part that triggered, which means that there is possibility that APC, they are behind this too. This guy in part 2 said, Atiku has 31 children. And all of them, they are getting ready. Once Atiku become president of Nigeria, all the 31 children want to be billionaire. Look at Bokwari. Look at Aisha. Shebi, you saw their old picture in 2014, 2015. Look at them today. So, if Atiku is coming to make 31 children billionaires, you better start planning the way you're going to live your life after this. Future no day. That's why obedient to say. That's why I'm saying, you need to speak and tell Nigerians. I'm going to share anyway. This is the beginning. Or this was the part 1. Then we go to Keyamo. And for Food Kayode, they had a press conference because of what you're about to watch or listen to. Let's start with this one.
On the
what is SPV? This is what explains what is SPV in Atiku's voice. In his voice.
On the 13th of June 2018, there were serious corruption allegations flying all over social media about 100 million naira bribe that had been given to Atiku Abubakar by the then Plateau State Governor Joshua Dare. By the direct personal admission of the governor, he had given 100 million naira to Atiku. For this reason, the governor was found guilty and was sentenced to jail time. I needed to know what the truth about the allegation was before proceeding to plan the defense strategy. And so I reached out to my then principal, Atiku Abubakar, via email, asking him, the details of the issue and how to proceed. And so he had told me that in his reply that, that money had been paid into an SPV. I didn't know what an SPV was, so I asked him. And so he gave a brief description, but since it was obvious I wasn't quite, I didn't have clarity, he put a call through to me on that same day. On my blog, you'd find the phone number that he had used to call me on that day, and the number I was also using by which I had received that call that day. And in his call, in our conversation, he admitted to having advised his then boss, President Olusegun Obasanjo, against what he called open corruption, stating that he practiced corruption by stealth or corruption by SPV, if you will. Went on to explain in further strategy meetings that through those SPVs he, Atiku Abubakar, had set up. Don't forget that he was in charge of the economy, and every monetary transactions had to pass through him, and they had used those SPVs, to fleece Nigerians, using those monies for private businesses, to settle their friends and political issues as well. That particular conversation gave me a little insight into the truth about my boss, my then boss, and all of the corruption allegations against him. It also opened my mind to the knowledge that the reason he's always been confident in defending himself, in allegations of SPV by telling Nigerians, show me evidence if you have any against me, is because SPVs, these companies he had set up by himself had placeholder directors. So nothing could ever be traced back to him directly. That's why Atiku is always confident about corruption allegations. But it also forced me to begin to investigate deeper, the man that I was serving at the time. Listen to the conversation between me and him.
Sir.
Yeah, Mike.
Yes, sir.
How can you ask me what is SPV?
I don't know what SPV is, sir, and I need to be sure before I start arguing with these people.
SPV is a special purpose vehicle. In other words, is a company they incorporate to carry out certain, activities.
Okay, sir.
You see what happened was when we came into, the office, and I advised the president against, open corruption.
Yes, sir.
I told him, I said, give me 3 people you trust.
Yes, sir.
And I will prepare 3 companies for which they will be the subscribers, or rather the directors.
Okay, sir.
So that, if there is any contract that we give, they will act like consultants,
yes.
And then they are giving a fee.
Yes,
and
sir.
that fee is what we now use, to fund the party instead of, engaging open. So he gave me the names of Fashawe, Andy Uba, and the late this guy, from Borno State, who died in that plane crash. Trying to the 3 of them.
Okay, sir.
So I now incorporated companies and I put them as subscribers.
Yes, sir.
And one of the companies was Marine Floats.
Yes, sir.
So when this governor sent a donation to the party, now he sent it to Marine Floats. So it was paid into Marine Float.
Yes, sir.
And one of the subscribers of Marine Float was Otumba Fashe. That account was very, very well investigated by EFCC to see whether, there was any vision. They found out that there was nothing.
Yes, sir.
So that was where the 100 million went to. It did not go to Atiku Abubakar. It went to Marine Float. And Marine Float was an SPV, special purpose vehicle, created, as a consulting company. So
okay, sir.
That was the way I handle it.
Okay, sir.
Yes. So that was what I was briefly tried to explain to you. No money was given to Atiku Abubakar.
It's okay. These people, as the time draws closer, they keep coming up with a lot of issues, and one needs to be able to have a few facts to be countering them immediately. Yes, sir. No problem, sir. I will tackle him later tonight. They should go and check. The money was not paid to Atiku Abubakar. The money was paid to a company called Marine Float. Marine Float, yes, sir.
Yes.
So do you understand that now? That's the genesis. And it was called Part 1. So they set up consultancy companies that will be taking cuts from non-existing projects. So if you trace anything, you can't trace anything to him. Those ones will now have to pay some of the money into the account of a company called Marine Float, or every money goes into Marine Float. So Marine Float now share the money owned by Atiku Abubakar, and it's just one of so many other SPVs. Fashawe that he mentioned happened to be Obasanjo's person, which means Obasanjo's own SPV were handled by the likes of Andy Uba, Fashawe. And for those who remember the Uba brothers of Anambra, and the Ubas, they were so rich. People were so surprised that they were so rich and so powerful that they kidnapped. We do believe they kidnapped a sitting governor. Okija, Shatabandu, Krisingige. Uba brothers, they rigged the election, used federal this and that money and all of that, and they made him governor. But before they made him governor, they took him to a shrine, Okija shrine, to go and swear that he was going to be sharing the state money 60-40 with them. They would take 60. Ngige would take 40. And whatever he can do whatever he wants to do with the 40. Whether to build road or build anything, that's up to him. They were so powerful that they kidnapped a sitting governor. Governor will get DSS, get army, get everything. Uba brothers, that's how they became prominent. Because they were running SPV for Obasanjo and Atiku. That's the facts. And if you trace any of them till tomorrow, you will never trace one kobo. One kobo to Atiku or to Obasanjo. But this is the first time that Atiku will be caught on record, confessing to have facilitated corruption, but there is no way, all the investigation against him, none of them could be linked to him. This is the first time he is publicly on record admitting to his own corruption. And by so doing, even Obasanjo and the rest of them are to be arrested. But how can you arrest them? Atiku gave 6 billion naira to Bokwari in 2015 when they are doing the 2015 election. Atiku alone, 6 billion naira. And his private jet. But because he's the former president of, he's so rich. He's so rich. It is like it's like you just packing money in a place and pack as much as you can every day for 8 years. You can't imagine. And all these are like money being held in proxy. By proxies for them. He gave APC Egbekegbe 6 billion naira in 2015 election plus his private jet. If you remember Bokwari smiling like a sheepy, what do you call it? Ogufe from Niger Republic. If you remember that photo during their campaign in 2015, that was Atiku's private jet. But you will never trace anything to him. They destroyed education in Nigeria. Atiku opened his own private university. Called it America Apti or something, university. America British University. Obasanjo, from his own money, they destroyed education. He opens his own university and secondary school. He called it Bells University, private. That's how they made their money. So you want me, because you have nothing to tell me this is actually so wrong. And it is ideal not to associate with people or characters like this if you want to claim not to be a sort of enabler of what is going on in Nigeria. Let us respect them. Let's forget all of that. Let us go. Are you madini? Show madini. If it's any problem, that's where we get problem. Me, I know they excuse them because I know them as criminals and I want to call them criminals. I don't want to say honorable criminal or sir criminal or daddy criminal. No, criminals. And any other thing that comes to my head. No matter any good you think they are doing, they are setting you up for something other that is bigger than what they have done to you. That's what I figured out. I don't want to be part of that. But how can APC, Egbekegbe jail Atiku? They can't. He's an investor in APC. Yeah. There are many members of APC, Egbekegbe, who are House of Rep members. They are Atiku's boys. They are in APC, of course, but they are Atiku's boys. Atiku's money is what sent them to those positions. You have no idea. Now, they carry umbrella, they carry broom, because now be the mumu that they need to validate this fraud. They are criminals. Old or young, I don't care. Criminals. Just say it. Criminals. Yeah? So that is why the next one is going to be the entertaining one, right? Listen to Atiku Keyamo. He opened the floor, a press conference, asking EFCC to make sure. And this is somebody defending somebody that got indicted, a presidential candidate that got indicted for cocaine pushing, heroin pushing, money laundering, certificate forgery, perjury. So when criminals are now saying, arrest him, catch him, thief, catch him, rogue, catch him, robber, catch him. So when you see thieves, say, catch him, Baba, you're supposed to catch shame. You are not supposed to sit down and say, of course, it's, I hear it 1 million times. Otobo, open the floor. This is it, the Pandora box that APC Egbekegbe is now demanding. 37 days before your electoral charade, the two biggest parties in Nigeria, led by criminals, populated by zombies and the future criminals, your shame started from here. And I am interested. And as they say, we they do work lomo. You feel see a madman where they dance for street and you be say, oh, but when you realize that now your own brother or your papa or your mama or anything way close to you, baba, your heart go break. Now let's go see the show of shame when criminals are calling on the authority to pick the criminals here and there. Here we go.
If you are not arrested, you are inviting, interrogation, and possible prosecution of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. Gentlemen of the press, these are the facts of this matter. For about a week now, Nigerians have been in deep shock over the grave revelations by a whistleblower, Mr. Michael Achimogo, who has provided the nation with iron-cast evidence of letters of appointment by Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, emails, documents, audio clips, sworn affidavits, and his direct oral evidence as to how Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, who happens to be the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, during his tenure as Vice President of Nigeria between 1999 and 2007, colluded with his then boss, President Olusegun Obasanjo, to fleece the country and steal public funds using what he termed the Special Purpose Vehicle, SPVs. Those SPVs were companies Atiku admittedly registered upon assumption of office as Vice President with the approval of President Olusegun Obasanjo, using trusted allies as shareholders and directors. The purpose was to divert government contracts to these companies as consultants and then paid monies into these companies and used those monies to fund the PDP and their private businesses and family activities. We can all vividly recall that during that tenure, both President Olusegun Obasanjo and Atiku Abubakar built the Bell University and American University respectively. Now, we know where those funds came from. They came from the SPVs. We hereby make available certified copies of the sworn affidavits, sworn to and released to the public by the whistleblower. We have made it available to you, and so you have a certified copy of those affidavits with you, giving graphic details of all that transpired, including attached documents. Gentlemen, let us also play to you the voice recording that he did of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar following those emails.
I will do that one. Or I've already done that one. So don't waste our time. Yes. We must get Atiku arrested with the grave crime they committed, including Obasanjo, but Atiku for now. Let's arrest Atiku for now. That was what Keyamo was talking about. But I don't know if Otobo Keyamo has heard the second version where Atiku's 31 children are expected to be automatic billionaires. Let's imagine that they start with 1 billion naira opening account, opening balance. The moment they declare Atiku your president, so all the 31 children, opening balance 1 billion. That's 31 billion. That's chicken change. It's not even anything. Sure you get. That will be the opening balance. So then from day one, and if they are like Bukwari and Yusuf and Aisha and the rest of them, Aisha is living in Dubai for almost 3 years now. Who do you think is paying? Somebody living that luxurious First Lady of Nigeria. She's not the only person there. She's with her family, her children, her friends, some of them who just have to keep her company. She's running her own fiefdom there. Who do you think is paying? Atiku. Aisha is the only wife of Bukwari. Atiku has about, I think he has about 8 wives and 300 concubine, side chicks. I'm not making it up. Even his wife and all, they said Atiku as wife, well, as a woman, I mean, as women in every state in Nigeria, and even Keneri Dino came out and he told us, he said, if you know Atiku very well, because Atiku marry everybody from everywhere in Nigeria, there is nobody that is more Nigeria or that can unite Nigeria. That is, if Atiku they do family meeting, it's like Nigeria doing meeting. Do you understand? When everybody will bring all of their, you know what I mean? Now, all of this will become your responsibility, okay? 23 years ago, I don't know how many children Atiku had. By birthday, he's had more now. 23 years is a long time, okay? However, there is one of them that is very much involved in his father's campaign. His name is something Muhammad Abubakar or something like that. Now that one go be the Olori Ebi. Now that one go be like the richest. So he own $1 billion go be in dollars, because now that one Kuku make the proposal. Say if him papa become president, oh, he can't wait, because he can't be living abroad, living outside Nigeria, struggling like other people. He has to establish himself and make sure that, you know what I mean? I need to eat in one Nigeria needs to. So make a play him. Then we'll go back to the press conference, okay? Now this guy told us, the part 2 at Atiku Gate.
One day in 2020, there were rumors that the Senate wanted to amend the requirements for the office of president to raise the minimum qualification. And Atiku had felt that he was the target of that process. And so he had reached out to me frantically via email. In that email, he said that beyond the Senate, his children were also pressuring him, his family basically were pressuring him to run for office, and as such wanted him to acquire by any means necessary a higher certificate that would make him eligible to run for office. And so he wanted me to help him secure admission to any Nigerian polytechnic where he could purchase such a certificate without scrutiny. I secured admissions for him at Federal Polytechnic Ida and Durban Polytechnic in Abuja. He sent money and I paid his fees. But I had advised him that the scrutiny he wanted to avoid was not going to be possible, because the ever-vigilant DSS were always around these schools investigating, and so there was no way he was going to avoid scrutiny. Acting on that advice, somehow he secured admission to Anglia Ruskin in the UK. I do not know how he did it, but he secured a master's degree from there. But he didn't go to school because he loves education. He went to school to fulfill his desperation of becoming president of Nigeria. In that email, he had mentioned the fact of his children forcing him, putting him under intense pressure to run for office again. I wondered why, but it didn't take too long for me to find out why. So Hawa is Atiku's daughter, one of his daughters, and she had told me herself that one of the reasons her brothers, especially Mo, whom she mentioned, would do anything for their father to become president was the fact that he knows that he must become a multi-billionaire should his father make it to that office. In her words, nothing will stop him. Now, when you put into perspective the fact that Atiku has 31 biological children, each one of them wanting to become a multi-billionaire, then you'd understand why he should be afraid of letting this family near that space. I was later to speak with Mo himself, and he affirmed what his sister told me. He said that there's no other goal in his life right now than for his father to become president, because he knows that when his father wins, his appetite will become larger. Also, these children want to emulate their father's royalty or royal lifestyle lived abroad. And so it is their dream to relocate abroad with their various families. But they feel that the billions they already have, even by the admission of their father, they are living comfortable lives here, that those billions are not yet enough. They need more. And so they need their father to be in office so they can embezzle more money and relocate. Do you know what it will cost you, this country, for 31 children to aim to be multi-billionaires? in a country where we are already short of funding for major critical projects, they'll rip Nigeria dry. You can listen to them. You don't have to take my word for it.
Who complained bitterly about Chidoka. He said Chidoka used daddy's money and didn't deliver. In the end, God was very bitter. You know one thing with you. No one's daddy to be president because no knows that when and if daddy becomes president, he will be a multi-billionaire. Nothing is secure. So he will bet his everything. The thing is, I don't know. And so is Muhammad. I don't know. Is very selfish, and so is Muhammad. I don't like money. And so does Muhammad.
Just two of them.
Two of them. And so it is true.
And everybody wants to feel closer to that.
There have been instances where I've been interested in, going for an office maybe or whatever, but for whatever reason, that didn't happen. But I'm just at a point where my primary interest is to see Atiku Abubakar become president. There is no secondary interest for now or tertiary interest or anything. That is the only interest I have now. Now, once they are successful, then I would say my appetite would now become very, very large.
Makes sense.
So that's more what I'm focused on. I'm trying to make him president, like you.
We'll try our best.
So
that's I love you.
Let's see how things go.
Okay.
If I have plenty money now, I can even move my family out of this country.
Money to move your family out of the country is not something you'd lack at the moment.
Really?
No, you just disguise.
I am my investment advisor.
Do I need to be?
No.
I don't need to be now.
If you are my investment advisor, so if I have plenty money,
No.
but I move them out. See, abroad is not enjoyable if you don't have money.
So I agree.
If you're in Nigeria, you are used to having one cook, 2 nannies, 1 driver, 1 houseboy. How many people have 5 staff? To afford 5 staff abroad, you have to be a multi-millionaire. It's not easy. And I'm not a multi-millionaire. And I don't want to be living this kind of lifestyle here, and I'm living in Nigeria comfortably. Then now go abroad and be living one kind of life.
I can relate. You do have a point.
You understand? So, moving is one thing, but moving comfortably to match your current lifestyle is another thing.
I agree.
So, unless it becomes essential for them to move, I'd rather not move until, if God has blessed our hustle, our struggles.
How many houses remain for you now?
How many houses remain for me?
Yes, now. How many houses remain for you?
At my young age, you're asking me how many houses remain for me?
You and the Oyo State government. One day in 2020, there were rumors that the...
Right. You have heard that. And if you are a Kalu supporter, I don't think you should, by any means, be pretending that this is something shocking or surprising. Do you imagine what it is going to be like the day that the voice or the recorded phone conversation between, especially around this time, between Sheyi Tinubu, Shade Tinubu, and some of other children of Tinubu who are also, they are already billionaires through the access to free public fund. So don't pretend. And when you look at how Nigeria is being run, right? Once you become a governor of a state, that state purse and that money, everything from that state, especially the one you know of, they will automatically become your family purse. The children will become the first daughter, first son. And in their right, they are also there scavenging, stealing, and then throwing their weights about simply because their father became the governor. So don't pretend. We know all about that. For some of us who remember Aregbe Mugbobaba Kabiru. Aregbe Mugbobaba Kabiru was the former clown governor that bankrupted a state. The first time in Nigeria history that a state will go bankrupt. And that happened to Osun State. The guy that was in charge was this clown. A criminal clown that used everything from religion to Yoruba culture and all of that to hoodwink and steal and loot the people. But if you are hearing about Aregbe Mugbobaba Kabiru, you must have been those who knows or who probably remember the time when they were swindling the people of Osun State of what they called the Okmoimo. They have no internet, no electricity. But Aregbe Mugbobaba Kabiru was there, borrowing money to go and buy tablets for all the school children in Osun State, and they called it Okmoimo. Okmoimo was given as a contract to a young Kabiru who happened to be just about 24 years old at the time. Billions of naira contracts was given to him. And what happened to Okmoimo? Because the father, who happened to be the governor, automatically made his own son a contractor supplier in a project to swindle and fleece a whole state. Don't pretend, though. And I think that's, if you are pretending, that's why you have the likes of Festus Keyamo now doing press conference. I made them arrest them, arrest Atiku. After arresting Atiku, arrest Escobar. Listen to their press conference. Don't think it's boring. Just listen to what he's saying and see how degenerated Nigeria has become. If the characters like this are now those who are championing, what will likely be your next, your future? Let's go back to their press conference, by the way. Keyamo, tell us more, please.
Listened to it and saw it, including the emails that preceded the call. Because what happened was that there was an allegation that time Dariye had just been jailed over this matter. And I'm sure you all know that one of the counts preferred against Governor Dariye was this 100 million. And that was why he was jailed. That was why Dariye was jailed. This 100 million. But it was the linkage to Atiku that we could not get all along, because it was paid to marine floats. Now he provided the evidence to say that marine float was actually the cover that they used, because Dariye took money directly from the coffers of Plateau State and paid to the marine float. That was why he was jailed. That he diverted money belonging to the Plateau people. Now we know that this money actually found its way back to Atiku Abubakar and his boss. But they used people as front to siphon these monies and so many others. There were other two companies that he did not mention, but he mentioned marine floats, by which they were siphoning money from the public coffers. Now, gentlemen, possible infractions of the law. From the oral account of the whistleblower, the voice notes, and all other supporting documents, these are the possible infractions of the law Atiku Abubakar has committed, and we urge his prosecution with his duties and responsibilities. 10 says, a public officer shall not ask for or accept property or benefits of any kind for himself or any other person on account of anything done or omitted to be done by him in the discharge of his duties. 2, subsection 2 of 10, for the purposes of subsection 1 of this section, the receipt by a public officer of any gift or benefit from commercial firms, business enterprises, or persons who have contracts with government, shall be presumed to have been received in contravention of the said subsection 1 of this section, unless the contrary is proved. 13, a public officer shall not do or direct to be done in abuse of his office any act prejudicial to the rights of any other person, knowing that such act is unlawful or contrary to any government policy. Section 17, a public officer who does any act prohibited by this act through a nominee, listen very carefully, through a nominee, trustee, or other agent, shall be deemed ipso facto to have committed a breach of this act. Now, there are also offenses against the Money Laundering Act, money laundering law here. Section 18 of the Money Laundering Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022 states as follows. Any person, subsection 2, any person or body corporate in or outside Nigeria who directly or indirectly, A, conceals or disguises the origin of, that's the concealment, through marine floats. or converts or transfers, removes from the jurisdiction, or acquires, uses, retains, or takes possession or control of any fund or property intentionally, knowingly, or reasonably ought to have known that such fund or property is or forms part of the proceeds of an unlawful act, commits an offense of money laundering under this act. 3. There is also the possibility of offense of criminal breach of trust. Section 311 of the Penal Code reads thus: whoever being in any manner entrusted with property or with any dominion over property dishonestly misappropriates or converts to his own use that property, or dishonestly uses that, or disposes of that property in violation of any direction of law prescribing the mode in which such trust is to be discharged, or of any legal contract, express or implied, which he has made touching the discharge of such trust.
No be the same guy say he won't give you hang on. I can check my camera. I think that's better. I suddenly just became so big. Is it not the same Atiku Keyamo that promised that he was going to give you 774,000 jobs in 774 local government areas? And they are going to give all of you wheelbarrows, shovel, and then a beam packer. And you are going to be collecting 30,000 naira. How many of you know that Festus Keyamo cashed out over 14 billion naira from that? Of course, they pay some people and they pack some gutters here and there. Today, majority of you who are now being counted as a jobless Nigerians under APC, from N Power to Atiku Keyamo's what? Okay, I get that. No. Let's finish this one first. Leave that one aside. Where you are saying something about this one, continue with this one. Leave that job. We'll come back. I agree. I'll come back to that. I'm just saying that when I call them criminals, I have my evidence. I have shown this evidence. I have shown the criminals to you many times. I just don't know what else to tell you, how to make you know that you don't trust criminals. Whatever they say out of their mouth should be like, hold your peace. Do you get that now? Hold your peace, because anything you say shall be used against you in the court of law. That's what I do in the temple of truth. When they say them, they cannot unset them anymore. So why do you want to trust criminals? That's what I'm trying to figure out. This is psychological and all that. So let's ignore all of that. And then I go again back. Let's go back to Atiku Keyamo without having to listen to all those blah, 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 blue, okay? I said, Atiku said, in 72 hours, if Nigeria, EFCC and ICPC fail to arrest Atiku, Atiku will go to court. And according to him, you remember that he happened to be the EFCC prosecutor as well. He happened to be the EFCC lawyer. When EFCC go to court, Atiku Keyamo is one of their lawyers. The scam, the fraud himself. So now, he is now coming out to say, listen, I was part of those who investigated Atiku. We couldn't trace all the money to him. It's true. But now we have the evidence. EFCC, do your job. If you don't arrest Atiku, I'm going to go to court. And the clown even said more. Listen to this one.
Call for the protection of the whistleblower. When President Muhammad Buhari came to office, one significant policy he adopted was that of whistleblowing. You are all witnesses to the fact that that policy has recorded tremendous success with the recovery of millions of dollars from various hidden sources. One was the famous Ikoyi apartment heist. These recoveries have been used by the Buhari administration to fund our budgets and build infrastructure we see springing up everywhere in the country today. We also recall that recently the Federal Executive Council approved a bill to be forwarded to the National Assembly for legal backing to the policy and legal protection for the whistleblower. I made tremendous contribution that day when that bill came to the Federal Executive Council for it to be forwarded to the National Assembly. And we have approved it, a bill to protect whistleblowers. In the light of the above, we call on all well-meaning Nigerians and the law enforcement agencies to protect the whistleblower, Mr. Michael Achimugu, who has blown this whistle on Atiku Abubakar. No harm must befall him or members of his family. We suspect that some goons of Atiku Abubakar are planning to eliminate him and members of his family. In fact, my big brother, FFK, actually hinted me about something like that yesterday. We shall hold Atiku Abubakar responsible if anything befalls this patriotic Nigerian or members of his family. We also encourage him to reveal to Nigerians or members, to reveal to Nigerians those earth-shaking revelations he is withholding for the sake of this nation and the future of our children. We know that he said he's not going to reveal so many things. This is just what is important for the campaign. But please, we're begging him, reveal all. Nigerians deserve to know who wants to occupy that office of president. Now, we made the point of conspiratorial silence. We said so far we are disillusioned, but we are not surprised at the conspiratorial silence of a section of the media over this grave issue of national importance. Even after seeing court processes in form of a sworn affidavit, we observe an embarrassing silence yet from a section of the media. We have consistently made our case against the unethical and partisan antics of some media houses, and this development vindicates us. When it was the case of the spurious and dead case of drug dealing leveled against our candidate, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, this media platform threw caution to the winds and zealously feasted on it. Of course, we gallantly came out. We didn't hide. We came out and vigorously disproved all the tissues of lies against our candidates. All of us here, we were on air. We did not hide. Now you can see all of them hiding. Since this allegation, they were hiding under the table. All of them. Hiding, all of them. They can't face the cameras. Why? Because they're even scared of what the young man is holding. Because the young man warned them that if you talk, earth-shaking revelation will begin to drop. So they ran away. Even the garrulous ones ran away. They should come out like us now. Come out and defend their principle. They don't know who they are campaigning for. They don't. They don't know. This person was actually closer to him than all of them. And that's what he told them. You saw pictures of him in Atiku's bedroom in Dubai. You saw pictures of him everywhere with Atiku. They don't even know. They are not closer to him than him. So, but now the press has gone strangely quiet. Well, whether they keep quiet or not, it's our firm belief that the judiciary is the last hope of the hopeless. In this case, the judiciary will not be quiet, as we shall clearly take steps in the next few days to initiate a judicial process seeking the outright disqualification. Go and look at the code of conduct for public officers. It is there. It happened to Nixon too. If you forgot, Nixon in the United States, unethical practice as president, this as candidate. Our code of conduct says once you breach the code of conduct, use companies and people to take, you are banned from public office. So I don't know whether the PCC will approve court actions there, but knowing me and my trajectory for the last 30 years in this country, I have fought principalities using the instrumentality of the law. I've gone to prison for it. They have charged me to court. I have written a letter this morning, apart from this, to the law enforcement agencies. The PCC, they don't approve me. If Asiwaju say I should stop campaigning for him because of this, I'll stop. This is national interest. If you say drop from cabinet because of this, I will drop. This is national interest. I am going to court myself. Apart from the PCC decision on this, I have written to them and the letters are there, distributed to all of them. 3 law enforcement, they are giving them an ultimatum. I will proceed to court to ask for disqualification of Atiku Abubakar. He is not fit to run for the highest office of the land. He is clearly ethically challenged, morally damaged for the highest office of the land. He can't survive this. He can't. We call on the 4th estate of the Rim to resist the temptation of partisan recruitment at this moment. You know partisan recruitment. They will go around with envelope now. Gentlemen, it is your treasury we are talking about. This is damaging. It is the nation we are talking about, not brown envelope. It's beyond brown envelope. This is highest criminality that they practice at the highest office, highest level at that time. So please, we call for you to resist the temptation of partisan recruitment at this moment. Rise to a patriotic call this defining hour and save the nation from this.
You hear if the PCC is Tinubu's Presidential Campaign Council, which he happened to be the, he happened to be the spokesperson for. ọmọ nǹkan ti ṣe yín Nàìjíríà o Ọlọ́run bá ń gbọ́ I mean ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ti kọjá pé àdúrà o there is no point in saying pray for us o to pity yourself is a waste of pity but look at your lives. These are those who are going to decide your future. Oh, I'm seeing that obedient. They say, God forbid, God forbid, God will forbid, God will forbid. Babasha, calm down. Sure you get. Let these legacy criminal parties, let them tear themselves. Now, you might think that Atiku Keyamo is bluffing and blabbing. They've responded though. But if you think he's morally bankrupt, it's not the kind of, you know what I mean? Like, the people that they mentioned, Joshua Dariye, has been forgiven. PDP arrested him, took him to court. The APC, Egbekegbe, came in, Bokowari, and he pardoned him. Yeah, he converted his imprisonment, converted it into, what's it they call him? Apology, abi forgiveness. So Joshua Dariye is now member of APC, Egbekegbe. So what Festus Keyamo is there saying is that Obasanjo, Crownfit said, Obasanjo, June 15, 2023, breaking news. Obasanjo voluntarily surrendered himself to EFCC over Atiku gates. I want to see future on today. Time travel, Crownfit. I saw your message. I mean, I saw your comments, and it really cracked me up. Cracked me up. The clowns are mortgaging and dancing over the future, and they are just promising you that future. Thieves, criminals, and some of you are ready to fight, and whatever it takes. Abi. I mean, we saw what happened in Ilorin today. Yeah, I was in Ilorin today. But have you heard about the side of for Food Kayode on this issue? For national reason, for national security, because of the sake of national this and that, you must stop Atiku and Femi Foni Kayode for Food Kayode for the sake of national unity, national this and that. Okay, oh yeah, FFK. Kini worry sorrow to one lay. I mean, if you have to say, our PCC, all of us in PCC, we are scared for the future of Nigeria. Atiku is going to kill everybody and this and that. And we love you. We care about you. And we don't think you are going to survive Atiku. And the person who is preaching this, one of them is for Food Kayode. To inspire you. Anything wrong?
As Vice President of Nigeria. Thank you, and God bless your side.
And I ask myself, why is it that some people can do these things with such impunity and nothing happens to them, whilst others would have done nothing at all and everything bad happens to them? This is not the kind of society we want or that we worked for. And I want to say clearly and categorically, and this is, whether whichever side of the political divide you are on, from that audio tape alone, it is clear that Atiku Abubakar is a criminal. A criminal that should not only be arrested, he should also be jailed. He has brought disgrace and infamy on everything that the Obasanjo government achieved. He has crumbled it. He has made it clear that so many horrendous things were going on behind the scenes. And this is unacceptable to me and to all the other people, both in PDP today and in APC today, that were in any way linked to that administration. So for me, there's a great outrage about this sort of thing. Secondly, I want to make this point, if I may, and I want us to take this very seriously. The safety of the whistleblower is at stake. This is a very serious issue. And I join Festus Keyamo and others, Dele and everybody else on this side of the divide to say, look, nothing must happen to this man. I am aware that one or two individuals that are very close to Atiku Abubakar have gone as far as to suggest that they want to take his life. They're keeping quiet publicly, but behind the scenes, they are shaking like chicken because they know that this is their end. If it had been anybody else in this room, or if it had been our candidate, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, whose voice you heard on that audio, by now, you know what would have happened. Let's face it, let's be honest. Every newspaper in this country, it would have been headline. It would have been on every television station in this country. We would have been lambasted, insulted, and they would have called for his arrest. But there was silence here. Everybody was pretending, everybody was ignoring it. Why? Because it's Atiku. Now I say this finally, that those that believe within Atiku's camp, and again, there's an identifiable person, I don't want to mention his name yet, but I will when the time comes, a businessman that believe that they have all the security agencies in their pockets, because they boasted this, that nothing can happen because we have all the security agents in our pockets. Let it be that this is a case that will prove him and them wrong. He's not above the law. I call for his investigation, his invitation, and his prosecution, because others have been prosecuted for doing far less. This is what you call direct evidence. It's not a question of hearsay. Direct evidence. And if he has a defense, let him come and provide the defense. But if nothing happens, and if under this government a man can come out and get away with saying that this is how we stole money, we used SPV, we did this, naming names, naming companies, naming that, naming amounts of money, and he gets away with it, what will the world say about Nigeria? Can this type of man ever be trusted with power in this country? In my view, and in the view of all of us here, the answer to that question is no. He's not fit to be president. He's not fit to run as president. And the people around him are even worse criminals than he is. And we have absolutely no fear. And like Festus has said, if what we are saying here will cost us anything, because, you know, this is a very emotional moment for me and for many of us. No matter what it costs us for saying these things against them, it's not just about the campaign anymore. It's about the integrity of our country. And
APC is a grand fraud. Expert liars. They are first-class propagandists. They thrive on propaganda. They have spent so much money on media to cover them up. APC is a grand fraud.
Don't ever forget that too. Femi Foni-Kayode is now talking about the Nigeria. It's emotional for us. The only thing he didn't do is to start crying. How can you let Atiku do this to us? How can you know? All this Atiku, you know, for the sake of this country, I don't care what it's going to cost me. We need to protect the life of this whistleblower, Baba. Choti beresini catch feeling. I be one not think catch feelings. I know, Shemi. I just hope that you will be able to heal in time. The comedy continues. But this time around, it's not press conference. Kennedy Dino had to come and say, you know, when the first guy spoke, Kennedy Dino said that guy was a creep. I mean, was a fraudster. He's a Yahoo. Secret to Shiwo. But ignore that boy, Joe. That one is just looking for money. Let's talk about good thing. You know. Now, they don't turn him into a legal fight or anything now to make it look more dramatic. But with Kennedy Dino, his own answer is that, hey. If APC Egbekegbe is saying that we are controlling security in Nigeria, maybe they are scared. They are afraid. Because as it be so, David Undenyi expose on the Kolu Escobar, that is Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That should be your concern. Making an Escobar your president. And then making Osama when I heard that Osama bin Laden, I said, Nigeria, see, obedient. You see those ones, they brag differently. And I've told you several times, right? You don't need to like them, you don't need to agree with them and all of that. It doesn't really matter. But when you are talking about the karma, that is so good for this time, for this our time, this time that we are alive. That karma in the political space of Nigeria are the obedient. They brag differently. The man said, if you see anywhere I stole 1 naira of Anambra money, I will stop running. Nobody came out and said, okay, yeah, here is the evidence. We saw this money inside your wife's account, inside your daughter's account. Your friend collected social money, contra, I know, do am. And it's been like that for months now. They never bring anything out. So when you see obedient bragging, now some of them are in the comment section and saying, you see, APC, PDP finish. Shall calm down. Are you with me? Shall calm down. Enjoy your bragging right, by the way. You hand it, okay? These guys are a bunch of criminals, right? And I bet you, they said Obi didn't pay tax in Nigeria. He kept his money, his earnings in safe havens, okay? Right? And which is a criminal offense, by the way. But you know what the obedient are using to brag? They said the only crime Obi committed is because he is smart enough not to keep his own hard-earned money that he made outside Nigeria by paying that tax to the thieves who are going to collect the tax, steal the money, and take it outside Nigeria again. Like I said, it is criminal. But when you meet obedient, they will say, that's a preferred criminality, Jarema Yegun. He didn't steal the money from anybody. But it's still a crime. So they brag differently. Don't ever forget that. But when it comes to people destroying people, APC, Egbekegbe, all promises cancelled. Al-Qaeda People's Congress, Akpahanyo People's Congress, APC, their own level of bragging is about their criminality and their superiority in crime. After everything where you don't listen to, you will think Keneri Dino, the court jester to Atiku, will come up with something more reasonable. Koba Jeffrey reasonable, Taloni reasonable. They say our man na SPV merchant criminal coming from the mouth of other criminals. Eja Afogugbe Loju, Escobar and Osama bin Laden. Is that what you want? No be me talk from Canary Dino. The credit to this video goes to the channel's television. Thank you.
Seconds to wrap up this conversation with you. And my question, Senator, is that should Nigerians ask that your candidates come to equity and subject themselves to interrogation or investigation in this respect based on Michael Achimogu's allegations? Because if they are frivolous allegations, there are ways to prove and dispel them. Yeah, under our laws. Now, would your principal be willing and ready to subject himself to the process of law to clear his name and to show Nigerians that he has a clean hands from all of these allegations that he's raised?
I'm surprised you're asking this question because Atiku Abubakar is a Democrat, he's a Nigerian. He has always been available for investigations. He has been investigated time and time again, and he has come out very clean, with clean status after investigation. So you do not even need the permission of Atiku Abubakar to investigate him. You understand? So we are not afraid of investigation because he's the most investigated Nigerians, and if you investigate him time and time again, he will come out clean. The man that is supposed to be arrested and prosecuted is the one that has been indicted already of being a drug baron, and there's a certified court indictment that money was confiscated, money was taken away from him to the tune of 340,400,000 naira, to the tune of $460,000. That is already an indictment. He's the man that has first code of conduct before. He's the man who bled Lagos to nothing. He's the man who is using Alpha Beta to destroy the economy of the poor citizens of Lagos State. He's the man who has taken over all the properties of government in Lagos State. Even TVC used to be the property of Lagos State. His house in Abuja used to be the property of Lagos State. His house in Bodilon used to be the property of Lagos State. That is the man that should be indicted. The man whose wife is supplying the diesel to all government offices in Lagos. The man whose son is in charge of the signages in Lagos.
Senator,
that is the man that should be prosecuted. That is the man.
Senator, we need to go. We are totally out of time. Thank you so much. Senator, do you...
Country, 70 years old man. Is that you? Jesus is Lord. Is that you? Country, 70 years old man. Is that you? Jesus is Lord. Is that you?
Carry me they go. Daddy, carry me they go. My husband house. They are all going to ask old rock. It is true. Kolu was indicted in heroin trade in America. That is true. Kolu is Escobar. And everything Dino Melaye said about Kolu, they are all true. And that is where I derived that's my own, description of all of your leaders, all of them, as criminals, my guy.
What's going on, Christian? What's going on, Christian?
Fatini. So now that they are all throwing the shades, it is ideal for all of you to understand. And when you take sides, just so that you are siding with your own criminal, don't give me any kind of excuse or what have you. I have been so used to that. Now you can't give me any excuse in defending any of your criminals. And your choice, own it, and brag about it. Like the people of Ilorin today. We're talking about, they've maybe mentioning Obasanjo here and there. He himself has something to say in this whole thing. Before I take you to Ilorin, are you interested in going to Ilorin? What happened in Ilorin today? Where the issue of shop by shop came up again. Now Tinubu's turn to shop. Lalong told the people in Ilorin today. Again, if you like, believe them. If you like, don't. When they drop all this line, they are just a little bit hint into what you're about to face. Bokwari, you go praise Bokwari when he's gone. Obasanjo, tell us, so he had the voice recently, and the credit to this clip, I don't know the owner, but if you are watching me, this is for educational purpose, and then it's so useful. And Obasanjo is Nigeria property. I'm sorry. So yeah, listen to him.
Recently, a pastor was preaching. I think he was not really preaching, he was talking. And he said to his congregation, I know most of you must have made up your mind who you will vote for. And he said, look, those of you who have made up your mind who you will vote for, I don't want to know who you will vote for, but put up your hands. Almost the whole congregation, including himself, put up his hand. I found it interesting. And he said he wanted to make a prayer. And as I pray, put up your hand, continue to raise your hand, that your children may have the character, the attitude, the attribute, the reputation, the life of the one you have chosen to vote for. Well, hands started coming down. And I said to myself, so here are people who are ready to vote for somebody they don't want their children to be like. Now, what do you say of such people? Wicked to extreme, as far as I'm concerned. Unpatriotic.
Thank you very much, sir. I saw that video too, and it was very, very, very inspiring, very, very challenging, and it brought the point home.
I will go back. I will go back to that video that you said you saw. And I will say that if the person you want to vote for, or you have originally decided to vote for, is not the person that you will want your child to be like, then change your mind.
As we all know, Obasanjo is supporting P2B. He endorsed P2B as next president of Nigeria, and he's not backing down on that. He's not smiling on that. He's not ashamed of himself for doing.
Well, as OBJ, as usual, he's already made his own decision, and then today, if anybody tells you about their election and their charade, that they haven't made up their mind, they are lying to you. Seriously, this whole thing, don't they? Even inside church, listen to this one, no, they don't cost themselves.
Or your father's company, who will you put there? Who will you put there? If you know out of your true conviction, that person, go and vote for that person. Vote a person that you want the type of character and what the person to come on your own children. Anybody that violates the law of conscience, the law of integrity for the kingdom of God, to go bring another child of the devil in charge, the curse will follow you and your own children. And I'm not just talking to those who are present here. I'm talking to the whole country, the whole nation, the whole Christian body, and to every reasonable Nigerian. Everybody. God has given us this beautiful country. This place is better than Britain. It's better than Germany. It's better than Ukraine. This is a blessed country. Let's now wake up and put the right person in office. For once, let the Nigerian church unite around God's purpose. Ask yourself, if Jesus were to be here, who will he tell me to vote? Ask yourself, Kant said character, competence, and capacity. Who, in my best, when I ask my conscience, you know how they say, the Spirit of God bears witness with your spirit that you are a child of God. You know who, vote that person. The third one is, anybody I want his character to follow my own children. Because it's the future of these children and the generation after that is at stake now. For once, everywhere in Nigeria, wake up. I don't care what party you belong to. For once, let the Christians wake up. For once, let the Muslims wake up. This country belongs to us. Let's wake up and do the right thing.
Valley story. Nobody they sleep. Anybody say, you see, sorry, apologies to Lady Abby, our own Lady Abby here. When she speaks, she'll be like, Yorubas, wake up. Our people should wake up. Yorubas need to wake up. That's a very, very passionate, popular line. But mommy, if you think these people are sleeping, they are not. Oh. They are full-time enablers. They know their oppressors, and their oppressors know them. That's why when people feel like sometimes on here and they say, Mayegun, don't talk like that. You know, you need to think about your friends that are going to be. I say, calm down. I know my people know me. Say, I see the moon see me. God bless the moon, God bless me. I know in the temple of truth, I know my people know me. God bless my people, God bless me. If I say anything that offends you because I'm saying something about people, you are not my friend. Are you with me? You can only wake people where they sleep up. You don't wake people where they pretend that they sleep. Nigerians are not sleeping. Okay, fine. Information may not be so much. They may not have access to the right information in time. Okay, fine. I agree. But don't pretend that they are sleeping. Wake up. Wake up. They are not sleeping. Now you they pretend say that they sleep, say as if to say that you say them blind. They say you cannot make the right decision when you are hungry. I've told you a story about an advert. It's called the Snickers. See, there's a chocolate bar here in the UK, and I believe all over the world for those who have seen them. They are called Snickers. Snickers, with nut and chocolate mixed together and caramel and all that, yeah? Their advert is about hunger. And even when I listen to that, instead of me to get attracted to that chocolate, I'm actually attracted to it anyway, yeah? I love Snickers, but now I don't eat much of them anymore anyway, yeah? But there is a popular line in that Snickers. They say, you are not you when you are hungry. Bite a Snickers. Chop Snicker. We can talk when hunger no dey the picture anymore. 133 million Nigerians are living in unbelievable poverty. 133 million. Do you think it's 133 people? Million, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. Wala. Oh, leka. Oh, bieda. Oh, leka 2 million. 1 to 2 million. For 24 hours. Oh, my re. Oh, bieda. You go tire. I don't care how you think say you be. Oh, yeah, sit down there. I'll give you 100,000 naira. If you feel it 1 to 10 million and you no sleep. Can't count 1 to 133 million. We're joking. They are not sleeping. They have been saddled with the spirit of survivor. And that is why they are like, oh, Benny, make a show first. That's the way they talk. It makes sense. In fact, I believe everything you are saying, Baba. I never shop. Everything where you said, I don't even remember anything where you are saying. But I've been talking for the past 2 hours now. Baba, yeah, I know. I was just here following you, but my mind no day here. Why? Baba, hungry. You are not you when you are hungry. So don't pretend that they are sleeping. They are not sleeping. Yorubas are not sleeping. The Igbos are not sleeping. Nigerians are not sleeping. But they can pretend to be. In fact, pretend not to know anything. They do know a lot. Because when you talk about them, so opening their hand and say, pay me. Oh. If you don't pay me, I know they come out for you. I know they, you know what I mean? That's transactional. This is something that is. I mean, let's be honest. I'm just saying, let's be honest, okay? I don't like people. I mean, I don't like us giving excuses for something we know that is so obvious, right? And at the same time, when we give excuses, right? Then on the other hand, we are expecting things to look different or to get better. No, they don't. You have to tell yourselves the truth. The criminals who are dealing with Nigerians, they are doing so because there are enablers. Shemika, take you to Ilorin. That won't doubt to me. Into Ilorin, meet this man. Is the #1 supporter of Bokwari. All of you will blame Bokwari for this and that for 7 years, because of everything. This man is #1 supporter of Bokwari, and there are many. And that reminds me. As you go to bed tonight, no matter how smart you are, no matter how educated you are, no matter how intelligent you think you are, see, Baba, no matter how much exposure you think you have in your life, if you don't fear foolish people in large numbers, Baba, you know, smart. Imagine this kind of person. 13 million of this kind of person. Young, old, woman, man, and all of them, children, and all of them. 13 million in Nigeria. You can't tell me say you get chance. You know, you don't get hope. You don't get chance. With this mindset.
The removal of CGN, whether he's there or he's not there, Nigeria will still remain Nigeria. I've been to the ex-convicts. I've seen 1, 2, I've seen 2, I've seen 3. What Buhari did for this country, no human being will ever did it. Buhari is the true light of this country that we have never discovered such person. How I wish we can get another 5 Buharis in this country. 1 in the north, 1 in the south, 1 in the west, everywhere. Let's have Buharis. If Buhari will go, let's have more Buharis. Somebody will be here on the newspapers and be abusing somebody's parent because you open your mouth so wide. Where were you when Buhari was fighting to unite this country, idiot? His care is not changed, my brother. Buhari will remain 4 years and will remain forever in throne. When useless, if you say Buhari is useless, your father is useless. I'm telling you this. Whether you like, Buhari will still remain there, and he will remain there, and he will remain there. When anybody get on, say Buhari. If you cannot pregnant your wife, it's Buhari. If you are going to tell her you can't.
Share you get. You can't discuss economy with this kind of people. You can't discuss security with them. You can't discuss youth unemployment with them. Because according to them, must you blame Buhari? Is it Buhari that will give you work? Now imagine that kind of man, that kind of person, right? Just imagine, close your eyes, and imagine that when you open the eyes, you are seeing 13 million of that kind of person. You know, go wrong. You know, go give up. I want to save Nigeria. I want to save, you know, go give up. That's how I see all the Lagos Abobakus, the Oshogbo Alimanjiris, the crumb eaters, the ass lickers, the crumb chasers, the Buhari Danes, Buhari Diderins, the Buhari Denotus, Buhari Dijatus, the Buhari Shukus, the Ungo Ziaris, the Une Kaharis, the obedient fools, sophisticated morons, humbled slaves, social media bandits, Facebook adsmen, the Abrodian Buhari idiots, the Mumu Madus, the Bele lecturers, the Mumu lecturers. When I see all of them, when I close my eyes, when I see one, I just imagine them in millions. Baba, we no get chance if we remain divided, trying to save Nigeria. Millions of this character, they will always make you and your efforts unnoticed. How do you want to fight it?
The removal of CGN, whether he's there or he's not there, Nigeria will still remain Nigeria. I've been to the ex-convicts. I've seen 1, 2, I've seen 2, I've seen 3. What Buhari did for this country, no human being will ever did it. Buhari
is right. He is right. Buhari is the first person, the first terrorist to overthrow a democratically elected government in Nigeria. Give that to him. Buhari is the first person in Nigeria history to supervise a country that its power structure collapsed, national power grid collapsed 14 times. Give that to him. On record, Buhari and APC, Egbekegbe, they are the first in the history of Nigeria to lead Nigeria to the highest BC in Nigeria history, 77 trillion naira. Also, in your lifetime, history have been made, in your lifetime, Buhari and APC, Egbekegbe, they are the first in your history to take Nigeria, the population of 200 million. And when you look around, 80% of them are jobless and they are living in never seen before, no record, never seen before poverty. No human being has done that to Nigeria. Also, in our lifetime, no human being in history of Nigeria has watched Nigerians being slaughtered, like say there no be anything, on daily basis, being kidnapped. I mean, in my lifetime, I am witnessing Nigerians being sold as slaves in jihadist market. In my lifetime. And at the same time, we are celebrating repentant terrorists. And guess what? In my lifetime, Operation Safe Corridor has given liberty to terrorists that are over 160,000 terrorists and their families. No human being has done that to Nigeria. And today, the same APC, Egbekegbe, from their own insensitivity. Yeah, insensitivity, say our insensitivity. I be whatever. They no care. Now slave camp. That's what Nigeria has become for, to them. The same people are pushing Mumu button, Muslim button, ticket, 419 ticket that is just one-way ticket to the implosion of Nigeria. So listen, they don't give a damn. So if you stand on their way, they will, I don't know what will happen. They may take you. Pastor Ruga, that used to be their star boy, Pastor Ruga, call on for no. Pastor Ruga Atiku, but Pastor Ruga himself is just counting days for the time they go open the gate of ass old rock and they will let him just go free and stop cleaning the ass of demented Bokwari. Unfortunately, Pastor Ruga was told that you are a star boy, you are a professor of law. Oh dear, this is going to be a star-studded, government. Oh my God, Nigeria is going to be so lucky. But guess what? Nigeria became the poverty capital of the world in 7 years under these criminals. Yeah. So what else haven't they done? Then Pastor Ruga wanted to be president. Oh dear, poor Pastor Ruga. He couldn't manage the country. They said he's in charge of economy. Pastor Ruga, come here, star boy. What is your policy to improve economy and lift 10 million Nigerians out of poverty? Oh, great. I thought you were never going to ask. I have a brilliant idea. What was it? Let's give 10 million Nigerians 10,000 naira and lift them out of poverty. Wow, you are so... you are a genius. 10,000 naira trader money, market money, and every other bara money to lift 10 million Nigerians out of poverty by the end of the whole access and billions of naira lost and stolen, not lost, stolen, right? Rather than pull 10 million out of poverty. Baba want to see everybody see no congag basic poverty ni. Between 2015 and 2022, Baba, everybody can they do like say, your poverty no reach my own. Your poverty even better than my own. You know, Nigerians are very funny. Very, very funny creatures, right? If you think you are suffering, going through hell right now in Nigeria, when they say, I'm on this country bad, oh. Baba, this country tough, oh. Tell me about it. Baba, can you believe that I hardly eat twice a day? I understand. Calm down. Just tell me more. Tell me about it. Baba, would you believe that? Calm down. But instead of you to now have a conversation around it, you just from nowhere, somebody say, Baba, your own better. If I tell you about my own sufferness, you go to thank God for your own. And I will say, calm down, Jare. Who told you are suffering? Look at me. Me and sufferness in this country. A company say we sign an agreement, like contract. Say, you go there with me for 10 years and we renew the contract. Because they turn this into competition. That's what APC, Egbe have done. And this is what they are riding on as well. Pastor Ruga saying won't be president. Papa, you the mentor ni. Then Tiaram. Right before our eyes, the same people that are asking for respect, they said Pastor Ruga was a betrayer. They didn't say that on social media only, but they printed posters for Pastor Ruga. They said Pastor Ruga is a betrayer. You are contesting against your leader. Ashiwaju that made you. Blah, 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 blah. The guy entered depression. From there, they say, this guy no go dey qualified to go about and do campaign for you. As a B, the guy no dey mentally okay. He go dey as old rock. But Bokwari will try and attend sometime. Bokwari can't go stay back, can't they watch the whole campaign? Say, okay, let's see what they have to do. But everywhere Kalu goes, he continued to, everything he had to say is to tell you how rotten and destroyed Nigeria has become under APC. And so, Bokwari just stay with say, Olushilele. You know they go anywhere now, you won't spoil business and all of that. It'd be like, say, you just be at a campaign rally, and your candidate is talking. Everything he's talking about that he's going to do for Nigerians is because he's telling them he's going to recover the damages you have done. And you are going to be standing there. No. Bokwari stayed away. But that's not what happened in Kwara, in Ilorin. That's what happened in Ilorin today. Because they said Bokwari is going to somewhere in Escobar, Davos, in Koni, Switzerland. After promising them it was going to be in Ilorin with Kolu today. They can't avoid them. You have no go avoid Kolu. Have you actually followed this campaign? When there was if Bokwari did here, Kolu will not be able to say anything. It will start shouting, Buhari, say it again. And so the guy ran away because that's how he became deaf and dumb in 2016. When they said that somehow they thought Bokwari would die, quick, and Pastor Ruga would be president. But that didn't happen. And they said from the mountain in Ekiti, some people will wake up every morning, somewhere in Benue Mountain, Kogi Hills, and they will be shouting, Buhari-o, Buhari-o, Before you know it, Buhari just deaf. You remember that time that they rushed him to London because he became deaf, dumb. You know, they hear. You remember that time? Don't worry, I just thought I should remind you. So Bokwari stayed away after attending 2 rallies with Kolu, and Kolu started shouting, Buhari! Buhari! Say it again, Buhari! The guy ran away. And he told us, I won't be coming to Ilorin. I'll send Pastor Ruga. Maybe they said, Pastor Ruga, you remember your depression? You better don't go to Ilorin. If you come back, can't get depressed more. If you think I'm joking, the last time Kolu and Pastor Ruga actually met in public place was at Akeredolu's mother's burial in Akure or I don't know. Bosha in Odo State. You remember? And when they met, Pastor Ruga was giving protocol. All protocol daily observe. All this one, Your Excellency, your that. It was when he was about 5 minutes gone into his speech that he told him, Kolu is here now. You didn't see your guy there. Then Pastor Ruga was like, oh, sorry. I just made one heavy mistake. No, it wasn't a mistake. They made the guy depressed. You have no idea. They depressed Pastor Ruga. Pastor Ruga, can't they do? I wanted to feel sorry for him, but I don't get any emotion left to share for any politicians that have destroyed Nigeria. Anyway, cut the long story short, Pastor Ruga didn't show up in Ilorin today. He stayed away, even though he was meant to be there to represent Bokwari. He stayed away for the sake of his mental health. Now, I'm going to take you to Ilorin, okay? So whatever you feel like. Pastor Ruga, I actually missed him. Oh, the motivational speaker. Ruga.
He don't pass. Last. Everybody go chop breakfast.
They're already cooking the breakfast. And Nigerians are already queuing behind there to get served. Minus me. Anyway, let's go to Ilorin. Where Kolu today, as usual, give us some laugh, some content. But there are other things that they dropped off in that conversation I want you to pay attention to. Ilorin, ladies and gentlemen, and the drama began. For the side attraction, this time around, it was K1 that was on stage. Oh yeah, K1, lighting mood, right? Listen to this before we go to Kolu's dramatics.
Àwọn polówó ìdí pàtàkì tó fi jẹ káàrí tán gbogbo làwọn lọ sáà ikú àlàyé lẹ́ẹ̀kejì gbogbo ọ̀gá ṣe lọ. Ìdí pàtàkì tó yẹ káàrí yan sí lẹ́tọ̀.
And that's it for that moment. They can forget all about their worries. Baba, she 2000 a joke to you, ni. Somebody is saying that these people didn't know that Nigeria owes 77 trillion naira. Koko 77 trillion, no? And I say, hunger day. As it be, and it has been weaponized. So here you are, free of charge, K1 the ultimate, on stand. Singing to you to forget your sorrow and everything and just enjoy the day and the money they gave to you. You are asking about 77 trillion naira. You think they didn't know? They know. But they want to live. They want to live for today. They need to eat. Even Afa and Pastor, Listen to their prayer. Opening prayer, yo.
Just 4 years ago, I was on this same platform, this same podium, to pray for the victory of our party, All Progressive Party, and you granted the prayer. The ones we are making today, may it be a granted one too. Oh Allah, you gave President Muhammad Buhari the victory 4 years ago. Oh Allah, we have our father, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We beseech you, Allah, that you give him victory as well. Let him have a landslide victory and guide him all through. Birahmatika ya arhamar rahimin, ya rabbal alamin. We have our governor. Last 4 years, I prayed here too that you give him victory, and you did granted our request. Oh Allah, he has not disappointed us. He has elevated the status of the common man in power. The young are getting better. The old are faring well. Everything is going on smoothly. He can improve. He can do better. Allah, grant him another victory this time and let him do well as well. Okay, so Kwara may Kwara be better for it. The second time of Abdurrahman, may it be a sure victory. Allah, don't leave me out too. I beseech you that you don't leave me out in the scheme of things. Let me get to where I'm going to. إذا جاء بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا آمين. السلام عليكم.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to do the prayer in the Christian way. Permit me to call on the Deputy Speaker from the Kwara State House of Assembly, Honorable Raphael to please come and do the prayers for us in the Christian way.
Ladies and gentlemen, we need to make this brief because we know Atiku and all that are wrong. And that is a back, so that Honorable Raphael cannot go.
Deputy Speaker, sir, where are you, sir? We want to take the Christian prayer. The Deputy Speaker of Kwara State House of Assembly, Honorable Raphael we want a short Christian prayer. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
The Son and of the Holy Spirit, Almighty and ever living God, we thank and bless you for the gift of this day. You are the giver of life, the author and the finisher of our faith. Lord, we say that you accept our praise and thanksgiving in Jesus' name. Mighty God, we pray for mercy. We ask that your mercy will speak for us in our ramification in the name of Jesus. King of glory, we commit unto you the purpose for which this campaign rally is staged, which is for victory of Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu and his running mate, and that of our leader in the state, Madam Abraman Abrazak, for the second time. Lord, and all our candidates are from all levels, from the local government constituencies even to the presidency. Oh Lord, we pray that you grant us victory in the name of Jesus. We ask.
See that? Let me give you one secret about Nigerian politicians and their supporters too, and Nigerians generally. Okay, I don't know about the African countries, so, and if they are doing it, I feel better with you than learning from Nigeria. Nigerians and Nigerian politicians, they will start a meeting. They will say, please, somebody give us an opening prayer. Let's start this meeting with the prayer to God to guide us and all of that. They don't need it to. So somebody will open the prayer. In the name of the Father, of the Lord, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Sometimes you will feel the vibration like say some spirit enter. Now lie. Sure you get. Then they will lie to themselves after the opening prayer. Plan and put together the crooked way they are going to fleece their country and the people. When they are done, they will say, Alaji Kukuteku, F1 closing prayer. Please give us the closing prayer in the name of Islam. And that one too, we say, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. All of us, let us open our hands. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I will say a few things that none of them actually care about. Almighty Allah, we thank you for this meeting, for the progress of our country and our people. Almighty Allah, we ask for your guidance to make sure that everything we discuss here, we are able to do them. In Allah's name, we have prayed. And everybody will say, Amen. Then they walk out of the whole place to go and perfect the plan and ways of how to fleece the country, rob the country, and keep it away. And when they are done, Nigerians, those who are Muslims, they will go on lesser hajj to go and thank Allah for the blessing of, for the blessing of today. We thank Allah that this month, Allah has been very wonderful. Allah has been very great. I mean, I worship Allah. I don't miss my prayer. I don't miss my hadith. I don't miss my blah, 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 blah. But they are criminals. Criminals hiding behind religion. If you match them up close, and something like this, you go see.
Alhamdulillah. 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 Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alhamdulillah. 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 Alhamdulillah Rabbil
Rabbil Alamin. Irọ́ ni gbogbo ẹ̀, na fake. Alaji, alaja, deacon, deaconessy, pastor, reverend, bobo ni gbogbo ẹ̀, olè ni gbogbo wọn. They are mad criminals. If not, you see this one, they call him Lalong, not Plateau State Governor. And it's very honest. It's been honest. Now, their supporters no get sense. Where they hope on them. Lalong said, now shop by shop Nigeria Limited. It is the turn of call you to shop. We really don't believe in. They are promising you education, promising you security, and you believe them. When the actual thing they are actually telling you is that, please, so now the turn of call you to shop. Oh, don't let anybody tell you grammar deceive you. Shop I shop Nigeria Limited. Baba, my children, will not be part of that. Your children shouldn't, if you care about them.
If you like us, raise up your hand. Raise up your hand. If you like Abdulrazak, raise up your hand. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, in the next few minutes, the Deputy Governor, the senatorial candidate, and everybody is here. That is here. Please, can we clear up the stage? Thank you very much. We love you. We love you. Please clear the stage. Only leave the governor and his wife. Clear the stage, please. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Please, I must clear the stage. If you want Asiwaju to talk, if you want National Chairman to talk, please clear the stage. Please, 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 please. Wala people, thank you very much. We have seen it. We can witness it. We are testing it. Your Excellency, the National zonal chairman of our great party. Your Excellency, the presidential candidate, and his running mate, the Jagaban and the city boy, and Senator Kashim Shettima. Your Excellency, the zonal chairman, His Excellency Abulolo, the governor of Niger State, members of the National Assembly, members of the National Working Committee, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I know you want to listen to the national chairman. You want him? I know you want to hear the voice of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You like him? First of all, let me thank you. We have seen it. If you do me good, I will do you good. And if you do good on the other side, we will do good on this side. That is Emeloko. Is that not Emeloko? Emeloko! Emeloko! Asiwaju has done good. It is his turn. It is your turn. It is our turn. If you chop alone, you will die alone. He did not chop alone. So it is his turn to chop too. And that is why Emeloko is very important. So you will hear the voice of Emeloko very soon. You will hear from...
So you can then come back and start telling me that if you understand the plan, if you know the plan, Baba, see, anytime you get. When I was growing up in Ijebu, Odo Bolu to be precise, there is a woman, she's still there. That's why I'm using the present tense for her, right? It's this woman, Lekuleja. Everybody watching me from Odogbolu will know who I'm talking about. She's so popular, and I used to hear, I used to hear the adults back then. They would say, that woman, I know her name and then the name of her children, okay? So and so, but they don't use that. They will say, Sheyi, 10 naira, take this 10 naira. Go to the place of Eni Oruwomti. Do you know what I mean? Eni Oruwomti, Eni Tiorinti. He whose head is pushing him everywhere. They say, yeah, Papa, what's happened? They say, I don't know. They say, now your head, they push you. Now your head, they push you. So a woman in my village who sells all the stuff for, what do you call it, appeasement, traditional sacrifice and the rest of that, where you buy all the supply, lekuleja. They say, any tiorinti. He whose head they push. They go to Mamalawo, Babalawo. So a woman in my hometown, because in my hometown, yeah, we have famous, popular, powerful Babalawos, Mamalawos, all of them. Odogbolu, if you know Odogbolu in Ijebu, we are good with that. Very good. And I'm proud of them. Okay? It's called the traditional science. Some of you are missing out because of this Abrahamic religion and all of that. You are missing out. Studying Yoruba, which happens to be like a religion on its own. You have no idea what you are missing. So in my hometown, yeah, I grew up among them. Everybody, they do their own thing. And they say, Eniti Orinti, he whose head is pushing, will go to them for solution. Majority of you, now your head that they push you. Now your head they push you. You don't even get anything, they control over the head anymore. And that is why majority of you are listening and taking these criminals serious. Now your head that they push you. That's why you are listening to criminals. And when they drop the bar line and they say, now shop with you. But because your head that is pushing you and you don't know, you are thinking they are telling you that they will give your children education. We'll give you education. We give children education. We'll buy WAHALAX form for them. We'll give you job. They are not telling you how they are going to do it. There are those in power that should be doing it right now. They are not. But because you're a leader, you believe them. So at the end of the day, when they now begin the shop by shop, where you know they, Emi Lokan, you dey shout on with them, abi? Eleda enti ori elunti eh. Just know that, so that you know go they pretend say, but they told us that they are going to feed us 2 meals a day. Weary. They said they are going. See, when they were campaigning in 2015, they said we are going to give 2 meals a day to school children. Baba Ashe Aroko ni indirect message. Aroko in Yoruba is like telling you, sending you a coded message. Aroko. They didn't know. Some of them they chop 3 square meals a day in 2015. Today, Baba, nobody even they ask them if they don't shop. Hey, Emeka, you see they are alive? So Baba, they are alive now. Why are you? I've not seen you in a long time. I think say you don't. I think say something happened, oh brother. Say what do you mean by something happened? Are you wishing me dead? I've actually lay low. I lay low. Baba, calm down. You know, lay low. Now poverty they make you calm down, and poverty they make everybody calm down. No, that's why when you see Yahoo boys, small thing, they are everywhere. That's why they talk say in Yoruba land, if you don't get money, now another person behavior you go they do. So your friend they see you, they say, hey K, AK, you see they alive? They say, what do you mean by I'm still alive? I've not seen you in a long time. You disappeared, and you the same you are jumping up and down, like monkeys. Where we say they get supply of 1 year supply of banana in their own, or monkeys who just discover a banana farm. And they're like, like Mario, ibitamakusi lade you. Maybe banana be this. Some of you are enablers. And you should know that. Once you do, just maybe, from when they are dropping their bars, I go shop. Is the thought of the shopping of Ajiwaju? Is the thought of the shopping of Atiku? But to you are hearing free education. You are hearing to fight corruption. Mayegu is telling you that you should start listening very well. Everything else is just a circus show. And don't pretend when the consequences catch up. They're going to play only now because before Kolu speak, Aide was there dazzling them. Let me see if it's this one. If it's not, I'll take you to Kolu straight away. Our time is long, fast spent, I'll say, but I just can't go to bed without sharing this with you. Ilorin, yo, watch this.
Please sing one house out of Fulani song for Atiku. And as the national chairman, and then they will. As well. No Hausa song. Wasiu, we no go pay you.
Baba, now 1 million track be that one. No. They say, give us a Fulani song, give us a Hausa song, give us this song. They call they be like, say, Hausa song go lales, I fun be no. To Joma Hausa, Allah, and Kiyaye. Oh yeah, band boys. Oh yeah, 1, 2, 3, go. Allah eki, aye. Tinyi. And he is making his money. I mean, if I was a musician, and somehow, though you will never see me around these criminals. I don't take criminal monies. No, I don't get closer to them. So that there will be no reason for me to feel like, me. How did I become an accomplice? Enabler for the things I have actually you know what I mean? So you will never see me there. Even if I'm a musician, I would rather sit down here and start giving you my lyrics and tracks against them like fella, free of charge on social media and all that. But this evening is not going to be complete without you possibly listening to Kolu. You want to hear the drama? Again, see, don't put up your hope and believe that you want to hear something significant. No, don't. They have nothing significant to say. But while they are dropping their bala, bulu bala, seriously, they do drop some hints into what they are really up to. Some of you misses that because you're laughing. You know, I told you that even if we have to laugh tonight, seriously, don't let the message be lost on you. Don't miss the message. I just don't want to mess up your mental health. These guys are jokers. They are criminals. If you're one of those who are actually listening to them and hoping that they will be probably good, I feel sorry for you. My help is to make sure that you start withdrawing now. It's not because I probably have other means to help you. But if I can save your mental health, right? Even if you don't tell me or say thank you to me, at least, I won't be adding to the basket of the mad people that are making... The number is growing in Nigeria, by the way. Do you know that? Yeah, officially. There are over... You know, they said that, about 80 million Nigerians are mad. You know, hang on. Yeah, 80 million. No. 70%. Rather, 70% Nigerians are mad. For different level of madness. Because of what Nigeria, the shege they are facing in the hand of Nigeria, especially in the last 7-8 years. So I don't want to contribute to worsen your mental health. There's so much for you to worry about. And that is why we won't go to bed tonight without actually seeing this part. And I'm also sorry that I'm going to be unable to raise my fund. But listen, I told you I have, we have something good we are doing on the side. Even if I won't be able to raise my fund to balance of what we are doing tonight in helping 5,000 school children in Yoruba land. Seriously, 50,000 school books, exercise books to be printed this week. We are paying for that. So far, so good. We have actually raised close to 7 million naira. Our budget initially was about 30 million naira. But by that time, we only carry 30 million. And we can't wait. We don't want to sleep on it. So this week, we're going to actually make that happen by paying those who are going to print those exercise books, reaching out to the less privileged and the vulnerable ones who are children, especially in Yoruba land, courtesy Yoruba Union. So I won't be able to do that fundraiser tonight, but if you are touched in helping, there are links everywhere where you can actually support us. Even on the screen, we have the PayPal, we have the Cash App, okay? Whatever you send to us, this is going to be highly appreciated. But like I said, we won't be able to go to bed tonight without actually touching this part. The part where Kolu started shouting, broom, 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 broom. I don't mean to ruin your night, but tonight is not complete without what really happened when Kolu opened his mouth. You ready? Take a look.
You are right and don't raise up your hand. But if you know it is real, you came for the support of Aswaju, put your hand up. This is the real crowd. This is the natural support. Thank you very much. Fingerprint!
Is that not a liar Mo standing with his teeth open like on that left? Or is it just me? Is that not liar Mo? The same liar Mo? I think so anyway. They won't beat him because of that Ramoni or Ramonu, as Kolu called him. Ramonu. Broom, 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 broom. Broom, 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 broom. We are here to celebrate our freedom. Oh, my freedom, freedom. I mean, they do freedom. Graduation. Slaves, they do freedom from slavery. And you believe I'm from the slave master. Baba Asho Goni. Now, so you got Tony or the thing where they pay you. Now, you want to make sure, say, you do the job, Abi. Man, you go how much them pay you to be criticizing Kolu? Baba, they don't pay me anything, no. They're supposed to pay me. Because what I'm doing is to see if I could save you from your own selves. Because you know, all of you, you know what you are doing. If anybody is saying that, you know, these people, they don't know what they are doing. Me, I don't believe that. Okay? There are people out there that believe that some of you, now the poverty blocked your head. And your greed and selfishness make you kind of ignore your chances and opportunities that you could really get as a proper citizen, not slaves in your own country. I don't believe that. I don't get pity for you. You know what you are doing. All of you are following Kolu. All of you are following Atiku with the record of these rogues. Now you are here asking people to come and prove to you that Obedient and the rest of them, right? That they also they also have a case. They are not different from Kolu. They are not different from Atiku. And because of that, you are using that as an excuse to defend these criminals, Abi. I no pity you because you know what you are doing. A lot of you know what you are doing. You love your criminals differently. It's your right. Own it. Beat your chest towards it. Okay? And at the same time, the consequences, when the consequences start coming, like that of Bokwari, by looking for those to blame. Hey, it's because of these people who don't like Bokwari. That's why that everything Bokwari is doing is not working. I just don't know if it is still very much working. When are they Jebu? But I'm just saying, but me come up you are active now. I'm not sure if the thing there, the thing is still active. Because we know you that you are just reflection of your leaders. Don't use these criminals and then say, hey, what about this one and all of that? What about it? Let me go back to Ilorin. Kolu.
No other choice. You don't vote for anybody else. You vote for me. President, APC, Senator, APC, APC, nobody did Governor, APC,
Somebody said, was that a campaign or a concert? Baba, anything where you see, take it like that. Okay? Don't trouble yourself. If you see that, if you saw it as a campaign, fine. But my good, there is no manifesto now. How can you say that a campaign? It's a concert. Baba, if you see him as a concert, you have no idea how this whole thing works. Kolu is demented. He can't speak for long without me yarning. So they need intermittent music to come in between. And Kolu, like the old Yoruba kingdom and the kings. When the king get to some certain age, from day one, they hire court jester, musician, and the rest of them to sing their praises. Do you know what the musician sings about the praises of old, rich, what do you call it, Yorubas? Back in the days, they sing about their exploits. They sing about their conquests. They sing about their wealth, their marriages, their everything. So when these old men, instead of them suffering dementia of making new exploits, politicians remind them, musicians or court jesters, they have to remind them that, ìwọ lọmọ ológun ẹrú 1,000. Bàbá àtìyìn ni wọ́n take over Ìdúmọ̀tà ní 1920. Mo kàn ní kí n rán ẹ létí ní because you are from ọmọ ológun ẹrú of 1,000 slave. So when he remembers, my fathers were ológun ẹrú, 1,000 slave owners. You better walk up. You better tidy up your life. Your forefathers are owners of 1,000 slaves. So that's what. Now, when you do that, right, you just make them remember the good old days. Say, Kolu, Omolodo de, and everybody will start dancing. That's Omolodo de 2001. Because that's exactly what you're going to get. This joke, this circus show is what you're going to get when you elect clowns. When you elected, or when you give power to demented individuals. Don't go back and start pretending that you're expecting something better when you have actually empowered their relic. So Kolu, when they say, Ilara lomba wanja Ilara. Now because they don't like you, that's why they are sad and angry. That's the song, Ilara. Because they don't like you, that's why they were sad and angry. And everybody would dance. I say, that's why they are sad and angry. It's because they don't like Kolu. It's because they don't like him, That's why they are sad and angry. You got what I mean? And then Kolu himself will be like, no, you're getting it. My man. My main man, you get it. My enemies they don't like me. They know I have dementia. But what's their business? You guys love me. Do you love me? They say, yeah, we love you. Then they sing for him and then he dance. Forget manifesto. If not concert you see, fine. If not campaign you see, fine. Just take them as you see them. That is the picture of Nigeria. Take it as you see it. Without music, without anything. Do you actually want to listen to Kolu? Well, I have won when he was in Edo. Edo people were listening to him. This guy couldn't make any sentence, anything sensible or reasonable. So why do you think they bring music intermittently to cut him and fill in the gap? Person where they get, I'm coming. It was in Edo just last year. Was it last year or this year? I think it was this year, right? Oh yeah, forget music, ignore everything now. Kolu, tell us something about what you have to do. This was in Benio. Maybe now you one day listen to a policy, Abi. I say now, if na concert or campaign, whatever you see, take on like that. Don't mess up with your mental health, my brother. Edo people who heard this, they still have no idea what Kolu was talking about here.
I brought the electricity company all the way from America. Listen to the boy. Pay for the studies. And unnecessary little fundamental things. The more you put on sewing machine before you start sewing the clothes.
Shoton. Shebi, now you they look for policy, Abi. May they explain to you. I mean, always you open me. I don't deceive myself. Sure you get. Kalu is the #1 content creator. If he becomes your president, it's just going to be the life of agony and laughter. Seriously, agony and laughter. You go to suffer. My ego will be cracking you up. You'll be typing laugh emojis. You'll be laughing. But inside, the pain they try to control. Because meter reader to only copy it. There's no meter reader that can give accurate reading about what you suffer inside. But when you going to speak, because your country president is a clown, right? He's going to be a great content creator. So if that's your life, it's going to be about content creating and laughter and then a mockery and whatever comes with it. You are welcome. My life is never going to be involved in all of this, even though indirectly I'm going to have to pay a price too. Now you the expect policy. Make person tell you what you want to do. Sure you don't hear them. They brought a power company from America. So what does bringing power company from America, what does that have to do with a sewing machine and start to sew clothes? They say, but you need power to sew clothes. Okay, bringing from any correlation. Dementia ni Parkinson. You need shaking one, that one is called Parkinson. Dementia is the one to help fuse call it turn off. You go to talk something right now, and the fuse could just say up NEPA. That one don't go off. Anything that come in between that generator power and NEPA power in his brain. Now the thing where you go talk be that. If you don't believe me, this is a reminder.
And we are competing with armed robbers and the bandits to recruit from the youths who are unemployed. 33% unemployed.
Nobody there else. In between him trying to are you saying that 33 people are unemployed in this country? He said, yes, Baba, 33, but Kwari don't destroy everything. Job no deal, na bara deal, online alimajiri, physical and online and offline, but everything don't propose you. But I saw power go off. It took 10 seconds before switching from generator to power. By the time they switch on the generator, about Ratimisi, you don't believe it, Abi? Pay attention again. Nobody there else where they talk. Now the future clown where you want to make your president be this. Not me, you. Once the power goes off, anything that comes in between that time, generator and the power switch, NEPA and generator, whatever you get, just take them. If na roaster can come, if na sewing machine come, if na transmission come, just take them. Now they hope.
And we are competing with armed robbers and the bandits to recruit from the youths who are unemployed. 33% unemployed. Recruit 50 million youths into the army and take away from their recruitment source. What they will eat? Cassava, agbado, corn in the morning, yam in the afternoon. It's growing here. You create demand and consumption. For over 5 million army of boot camps. We create our food. That's money for the farmers. That's consumption for the soldiers and skill development. Don't call them by illiteracy. Don't talk about illiteracy. Anybody who can own gun, who can handle gun, who can cock gun and clean the chamber and cock and shoot is technically competent to repair a tractor in the farm.
Who are those people who normally clap? What say? àwọn tó máa ń pàtẹ́wọ́ yẹn dànù ṣe mad. Clap for Aṣíwájú àbí nǹkan ṣe yín ni. Thank you. Motivational speaker. I'm not sorry for you and I don't have any pity for you as a young person rooting for these relics, these old criminals, and your choice. Just don't turn around. After running about and shouting and Ilokon, Aṣíwájú will rule you, Atiku is going to be this or that. In 2024, you can't turn around, they say you don't repent. And then somehow, they don't give you vision, say the person waiting after your life, now your village mama. You see, your decision is going to affect that your village grandma. The consequences of that will now turn around and you say, village people don't finish me, or I don't graduate, I don't get job, or I don't this country too bad, though. Baba, no village people is doing you. Majority of you are just so blind with selfishness and greed, self-centeredness. Like your leaders, you are the you are actually like the reflection of your leaders. They are the reflection of you too. Vice versa. Shago, Mbugo, and all of that. I know I'm trying to let you know that, listen, Nigeria can't work that people say. There are theories, there are practical facts to back that up. Okay? Some people are not giving up. If you have met obedient, you go to say, before Nigeria go better, it's just about 3 or 6 weeks away. May they just declare Obi. They pray for you. Say, make Obi be able to crush these criminals. Even you yourself, no say na one kind prayer we be say wait and see, pregnant and see. What do they call them? But whatever you do to yourselves, whatever you have invested in Nigeria, when you see things like this, when you know things like this, right? These are the reasons why people like us have chosen, no matter how long it's going to take, to orientate, enlighten the people, the Yoruba people especially. I am doing mine to enlighten everybody, including myself the learn. Because sometimes I go listen to something, say I'll be like, Nigeria's a bad gonsha. About this country to this country. As you are watching me where they bring all these things, right? And you are like, I'm on this country, this country. Baba na so myself they feel. All of us they learn. So I don't know where you build your own or your own kind of hope from. If you are not obedient, obedient kind of hope building is different. And I wish you all the best, okay? But if you go to bed tonight and you are one of those who have been like, you don't like me, you never liked me. I respect you that you love your prisoner. I mean, you love your oppressors differently. That's your choice. You're right, okay? But you owe me an apology because even your criminal leaders believe that they are criminals. And knowing that they are criminals, confirmed my own, never-ending, sermons on Mayegun's Diary Political. Now that you know better, show some respect next time. I won't take us tonight. And then I just received a message right now from our Nigerian support account that we have you, Mrs. Should I say auntie? No, I'll say our lady, Taiwo Adeyemi. I have been told that we have received a sum of 120,000 naira in the Naira donation account from yourself. We appreciate that and see, thank you. Okay. I also got another one right there from the donor box. This one was donated through Mayegun's Diary Political donor box account. I have never shared that with you. I have people that actually like, they reach out to me all the time. Mayegun, yeah, Mayegun, yeah. And they are members of the Temple of Truth. But this particular one actually came up from Wale Akonde. I got your message, sir, and your donation, okay? All this will go towards helping the school children in Yoruba land. In a small way, we are going to try. And wish us well. I wish I could raise the fund tonight, but I won't. Time is so far gone, okay? Everyone wants to support us one way or another. There are so many contacts there on how to make your donation and support. And every penny you send across will be accounted for, okay? In the next few days, we are going to be seeing us in different parts of Yoruba land, like you saw us in December when we were reaching out to those families, our own people in Yoruba land. So if you are touched in a way that you could be of help, right? 5,000 school children. And this weekend, we're going to pay out at least 6.5 million naira, which is a part payment for the production and printing of all the books. then we're already in deficit anyway. So we'll have a balance of about ₦1 million to balance up in production. Then we have a place of, so we have a responsibility of logistics, the people that are going to take all of this to these places across Yoruba land. All of you who are the members of the Yoruba Union, I say thank you. And I have been also briefed that we also have some of you right now, especially in Yoruba land right now, who are volunteering to go with us in distributing, not just distributing all these books, but at least planting the seed, the message of no matter how long it takes, Yoruba will leave Nigeria. But when we leave, we are not going to live as ignorant people, okay? We're going to live as people who are so well informed and who fought for the reasons why we have to be so free, away from all this nonsense, including those who have they have produced within our own system in Yoruba land, those who have joined them in keeping us under the perpetuity of slavery, corruption, and poverty, underdevelopment as well. We need to take back we need to take back our own freedom from those who have misrepresented us over time. To do that, you need right information, right education for the right people, especially this coming generation, the ones that they are now preparing and grooming to be like so many of us who have now grown up as adults. Shege happened to us, bent us, and they have mostly turned many of us into their vuvuzelas. You know, hailing the system that makes us poor, impoverished us, and the system that actually incapacitated us so much that they told us to be so grateful in our incapabilities, in our vulnerability, in our traumatization, and the rest of them. As Yorubas, we may not have enough weapons, physical weapons, to actually face our own traducers and our own oppressors, local and foreign. When I say local and foreign, I mean Yorubas who are contributing to this as well. Rather than defend Yoruba land, they are defending Nigeria, and Yoruba can be sacrificed for Nigeria. Now we need right information, right education, and right orientation, and the right empowerment for our people in a way that one day, when we're going to break free, it's going to start from those who are the homegrown slave owners or oppressors who are using Nigeria as a cover, and they have denied Yorubas what rightfully belongs to us. And they will also stop us from actually asking for same, simply because they are getting the best deal from Nigeria. So join us, support us, and make this a thing. And if you do, trust me, we are open that that will be something we can build on. Something real, something that is ours, something that could change everything. Okay? We are tired of talking. We are now acting. And acting that we are acting logically, responsibly, and indeed, legally. So I'll stop here, and I hope I would be able to actually launch, I'll be able to continue our fundraiser. But any of you who feel like helping people, reaching out to them like we do here, you can do so through us. There are links out there that you can actually, when you send in any donation or support, just make sure you add the message that says it is for this purpose. So thank you to everyone who has done their part. I'm going to go to bed, right? But thanks so much again for spending your evening with me. And I'm going to see you some other time. Until when probably a breaking news will say Atiku has been arrested, or maybe Tinubu has been disqualified. Whatever happened to these two criminal groups, right? Trust me, I don't know if I don't care if you are one of their supporters, okay? I'm actually waiting for the implosion. If the implosion of Nigeria will start from them, so be it. Enjoy your evening, and I'll see you some other time from here. Good night.
Ayégun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Ayégun dáyàrí ayé di nàmbà wá. Ayégun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Ayégun dáyàrí ayé di nàmbà wá. Ayégun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí. Ayégun dáyàrí ayé di nàmbà wá. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Ayégun dáyàrí ayé di nàmbà wá. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Máyégún já. àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Máyégún Diary Nayibi #1. bó bá ṣe eré àní Máyégún máa wí. Máyégún Diary Nayibi #1. ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Máyégún Diary Nayibi #1. Máyégún Diary politico. Máyégún Diary Nayibi #1. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Máyégún. Máyégún Diary Nayibi #1. ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Máyégún Diary Nayibi #1. àní Máyégún làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Máyégún Diary Nayibi #1. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. Máyégún ti dé. ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. lórí Facebook. Máyégún ti dé. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. lórí YouTube. Máyégún ti dé. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Máyégún máa wí. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. bíjó ìgbádìyẹ. Máyégún máa wí. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Máyégún máa wí. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. bí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Máyégún máa wí. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí bá. Máyégún máa wí. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Máyégún máa wí. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Máyégún máa wí. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. Máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o. Máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran. wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. oníkanṣá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o. àyè. Máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran. kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta. Máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran. tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ̀lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí abínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà. àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o. Ẹ̀yin bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran.